throughout the 1730s, and with himself stricken with temporary paralysis in 1737, Handel began to turn decisively to the composition of oratorio. While oratorio was a form that existed long before Handel, one could say that Handel set the example for further English language works in the genre. Handel, in short, created what we would think of as English oratorio in works like Mendelssohn's Elijah, Elgar's Dream of Drantius, maybe even looking further along, something like Michael Tippett, Child of Our Time. It's a long tradition. So, he's trying to put all these elements together. Again, we're talking more choral music, more instrumental numbers, different aria forms, but it's not exactly holding together. The form of Esther in the 1718 version is kind of clumsy. And it wouldn't be until Esther's revision in 1732 that we start seeing a more mature oratorial style. Quick question, put it in the chat, does that work remind you of any other work? Let me put it in a different form. Requiem aeternam. Okay, so yes, the funeral anthem for Queen Caroline, The Ways of Zion Do Mourn, and yes, Mozart Requiem, the introit. If it was good enough for Mozart to draw upon for his Requiem, it was certainly good enough for Handel to reuse in his own work. He first considered using it in Saul. Ultimately, he deployed it as part one of Israel and Egypt. When you have one pitch, it can mean anything, right? Sometimes it can, if you're thinking of it in triadic harmony, the just harmony with three notes, it could be at the bottom, right? So it could be, this is the C that I'm playing, and it forms a nice C major chord, right? The root. Or it could, it could have been minor too, but just anyways, for the sake of the position. It could be in the middle of the chord, right? A minor, or maybe even F major, or A flat major. It could be all these things, right? It's still, or it could be on top of the chord, right? The point is, whatever it is, it's unclear from one note what the harmony is, and Handel is like dropping hints along the way. So our expectations have been thwarted. We're not thinking of it consciously, but it is definitely not what we would expect, given like how a harmony normally unfolds in this sort of music. Not your standard progression through anything. Just a lot of half steps, but it creates this really unsettled texture. And I don't think there's anything that here we would call melody, certainly. It's just all the harmonic movement as we sort of described in the beginning.